Alrighty. Hi everyone. This is Mike Collette. I want to take you through our CFP-VP, so our CrossFit Prototype Virtuosity program. So I appreciate you guys tuning in and doing this. I literally just sat here for 15 minutes and thought I was doing a screen share recording thing, and apparently I wasn't. So I literally just talked to myself for 15 minutes. So hopefully this one doesn't take that long. I can kind of go through this stuff. So again, thank you guys for tuning in and watching this. You guys that are interested in starting our Virtuosity program, just kind of the rundown. We developed this program over the course of several years. And it's been something that's been really important to me, to not just me and our team, to get rolling again, as we found it's a tremendous goal-setting tool and system to help you guys create lifelong habits and retention to exercising. And so again, it's a huge program. It's something that no other facilities out there are really doing, and I've spent a tremendous amount of my time to develop this program along with our coaches and also member feedback as well. And just to kind of put this out there, this is something that we're going to continue to build out and refine and make the best as possible to be able to help you guys as much as possible. So long story short, the CrossFit Virtuosity program is going to be something that takes over the front of our gym, particularly our leaderboard. So if you read the article that I posted up, essentially we are doing away with our leaderboard and actually just implementing our Virtuosity program up there. And what we'll do is people that are involved in the program and that are currently doing it, your guys' pictures will be on the wall and will correspond to the different bands and or band that you have versus your name on the board under a particular movement and placement. So what we found is that and what we know is that CrossFit is a balance of particular elements of your fitness, specifically the 10 general physical skills, which I mentioned a little bit about in my article, but essentially your strength, endurance, stamina, flexibility, power, speed, coordination, accuracy, balance, all these different components that create well-rounded fitness and allow us to be the healthiest individuals out there. But in addition, what we found was, our leaderboard is very specific for different things and different key components of the fitness. So what we want to do is take a better shot at it. And we're in the CrossFit business. We are very focused on creating well-rounded results and well-rounded fitness across the board. And the Virtuosity program, I believe, is something great to kind of help create that well-roundedness. So the Virtuosity program is very similar to the belt system that you see in different martial arts academies, as I alluded to in my article. One thing that we found with the Virtuosity program is very quantitative. You can measure everything that we have in here. And again, to my point, that there's things that we're going to continue to add and build onto this. But we want to create different standards and be able to, I can't tell you the number of times that, people ask me, what's a good squat, or how much do you lift, or, what's your Fran time, and what's a good Fran time, and what should I do on Murph? These are questions that we as coaches get all the time, and we are more than happy to answer, but it's hard because you start giving that, it depends. Well, it depends. And the reality is there are certain metrics that we can kind of live up to and or strive for and goal set and be able to get after. And this system is set up to allow you to do those things and create those goals and move up the ladder. And as we progress through this Virtuosity program, you're going to see huge improvements in your overall fitness, because we're not just tackling one specific section or element of your fitness, we're attacking it all at the same time. So if you take a look on the screen here, if you watch my mouse, again, this is the first time I've ever done this thing, so bear with me with the screen sharing, but our Virtuosity program has been created into 4 different sections. So one section is your weightlifting or your lifting elements. So that's anything from back squats to presses to your Olympic lifts. Then we have the next section is our gymnastics elements. So these are body weight focused movements, handstands, pull-ups, handstand push-ups, toes to bar, etc. Then we have what we call our monostructural metabolic conditioning, and those are singular elements such as rowing, running, biking, jump roping, etc. And then we have our benchmark workouts. So these are pre-programmed workouts that have been developed by CrossFit HQ, and these are in the form of the girls and some select hero and benchmark workouts. So those are the 4 different sections that we're looking at from a virtuosity standpoint, being balanced in those different areas. We have seven different levels to the virtuosity program, starting with the white band, which is obviously similar to the white belt in martial arts, and going all the way up to a red band, which is very elite standards of fitness. And this is an area, the red area is super elite. This is not an area that I believe people are going to necessarily touch, but can strive for. But particularly these different bands and different elements here have been set up to create retention to exercise more specifically, and to set goals for different areas. So you might not hit 100% or 80% compliance in the red band ever, but you might hit some of these different elements, which we'll get into, and how to progress through these different levels. But at the end of the day, it's our goal as coaches to help you guys get the results that you want, right? So, regardless of how ever you look at the Virtuosity program, whether it's some of these things on here are very specific for goals that you have, and or your goals are really just, move better, live longer, and just work out, you can also use this system to track your progress, which is important because we want to see progress as we continue to exercise, and as we continue to do anything in life. We want to see progress. We want to be able to measure, right? Why? And I mentioned this, the other day in our Facebook group, is why we're in the results business at the end of the day. So if we're going to deliver on results or help deliver results to you, we want to be able to test those things. And this is a system to be able to show the testing, and that our particular program is working, and that you're seeing progress through these different particular areas. So as we look at the system and why it's kind of set up, I'm going to get into a little bit of the why we kind of set it up like this. But essentially, the white band is particularly set up for people who are just starting out our facility, so brand new people. So if you're someone out there that is brand new to CrossFit, brand new to prototype specifically, and you want to get involved in our Virtuosity program, this is right where you're going to start. You're going to start with our weight band. And the reality is our focus on these different levels to start predominantly falls in with our weightlifting components and with our monostructural components here. So you'll see that there's these different little lines through here, and that just means that this isn't something that we're necessarily going to look to test in these particular areas. Specifically, the higher level movements. So we're looking at Olympic movements here with the clean and jerk snatch. Some of the more complex gymnastics movements like toes to bar and bar muscle ups and ring muscle ups and all that crazy type of stuff. And then also some of the benchmark workouts that might require a tremendous amount of skill, coordination, and have some decent volume to it. So the focus here in the beginning, especially as you're starting, is really on moving well, doing things well, getting your basic fundamentals down. And we're going to see, we put some standards and metrics to this because we believe that it's really important to have a balance in these areas of just your basic weightlifting. So developing some baseline strength, and then also with the monostructural stuff to develop some baseline conditioning, right? In the same regard, as we start to progress through the different levels, we start to add in some different components to be able to do. Specifically, when we get into the green, the orange, adding in some higher level, more higher level standards for your weightlifting. And this is all based on body weight. So it's all percentage of your body weight for these particular lifts, particular movements. As we progress through the system, that gets a little bit more challenging. And then as you can see, it's these lines, they start to get less and less. So as we start getting into like the orange, black, thick green, we start having more standards for some of the higher level movements. So the reality is the beginning of this system is very much focused on creating baseline strength, creating baseline conditioning, developing proper movement patterns before trying to test all those things. And that is just set up for, number one, safety, but overall to create good quality habits. So that's pretty straightforward. As we get there, we start looking at now these compliance metrics are here. So, you guys have the questions probably of, all right, I want to get started into this. How do I do it, right? How do I progress through my different bands? So, number one, we don't expect you to have 100% compliance on these different sections. Like I said, there's 48 different columns / metrics that we're looking at over the course of the lifting, gymnastics, monostructural, and benchmark workouts. And in each section, there's a different compliance percentage that you need to meet in order to receive that band. So the reality is this should be 0 because everyone's going to be starting at the white band. But in order to get your green band, you have to have 90% compliance through all these different things or different areas in the green band. Now, there's only a few of them here because obviously some of the higher level movements aren't part of it. So doing a lot of these things, you have to actually hit these different standards to get your green band, right? And then same thing for the orange band. So the first 3 levels, white, green, orange, 90%. You got to be able to do 90% of the things that are on here in order to receive that band. As we move on to the black band, thick green band, we drop down 5% compliance. And now it's just, you need to be able to do 85% of the things on here. You need to be able to do 85% of the things on here. Moving on to the highest level standards, we drop that down to 80% compliance to these different areas. Obviously, the harder it is with these different metrics, and again, there's a lot of them. We're not expecting to be able to do 100% of those things, but getting pretty damn close. And that's how we're gonna, achieve true virtuosity, doing the uncommonly well, and being well-rounded through our fitness and those different components and areas of our fitness as well. So the cool thing is these aren't constant across the board. So we also have some different metrics for our masters category. So basically anyone over the age of 45, we automatically take 10% compliance off all these sections because we know some of the movements and some of the standards in here, A, are just not appropriate, B, should not be doing them, and or C, it's just, the levels and the challenges are just going to be too challenging to really hit that. So we drop 10% of compliance across the board. So if you're over the age of 45, you only have to be able to do 80% of the things to get your orange band, right? In addition to that, and these are things that we're continuing to work through, and this is something new that we added, is that we're actually taking 20% off of the standards for your weightlifting. So essentially, if you're, over the age of 45, instead of having to do 125% of your body weight for a back squat, we're dropping 20% on those things. So if you're a male, you only have to do 105% of your body weight, and if you're a female, you only have to do 80% of your body weight, et cetera. And that's across the board for all these different standards. So dropping the percentage for the weightlifting by 20% for masters, and dropping the overall compliance by 10% to allow for to see some gradual progression on these different areas. In addition, something that we added in, and one of the areas that we found was a challenge for most people, is once you start getting up to a particular level, let's say it's orange band, and say you started at white, your progress might be super linear. It might be going straight up, right? Very, very, very fast, being able to progress through these different bands. But as we start to get to some of the higher level, areas, it takes a little bit longer. In fitness is not something that happens overnight. And we know that, and you guys should know that as well, is that progress can't be straight up climbing up the ladder like every couple months being able to re-up your band until you're through the system. It just doesn't work like that. It starts to slow down a little bit because that's just the way it is. It's hard to adapt to all these different areas of your fitness. So, instead of it taking you and, not having any, action or anything going on for, say, an entire year, say you're going from black band to thick green band, what we've added in are different, adding in different stripes. So essentially, as you complete 20% through these different sections, you will receive a stripe. And how we're going to do that is we're going to put a marker on the picture that we have up on the board for you, in addition to the band that we're going to be giving you as well. So say, for example, you get through your orange band, you have your black band, and you know, all right, getting from black to thick green is going to take you a long time. But as you start to get, say 20% through this section or this entire band, you will be able to receive a stripe. So, the highest level black band you can be is a 4-stripe black band. That means you've completed, 80% of the things you have to do on the thick green band, but not yet that 85% of that compliance. So you'd have 4 stripes on your black band. You just need 5% more and be able to get this thick green band. So that's how that's going to work, and we're going to be adding in those different little progression levels for you as well. So you're seeing continual progress, and you're going to be receiving something for all the hard work and dedication that you're putting into your fitness and working on those different elements. And in addition to that, our testing standards and how to test was a big thing as well. So before, it was every 3 months, every quarter, basically you had the ability to test, and we kind of shortened that up a little bit, and we put it as every 2 months. But the reality is, you can start whenever you want. So, say you're a member at CFP, you've been a member here for a while, you've never been part of the Virtuosity program, and you want to get involved. Everyone that is in the facility right now will start with the green band, no matter where you're at. We have to go through the process. Anyone that's brand new to our facility, starting day one, Virtuosity, sessions, starts with a white band. Okay. Once you receive this band, every 2 months you have the ability to test or show us your progress to the next band. So you might already be at orange band here, but we're going to have you start with a green band, and we're going to have you fill out your sheet, and etc. And the reason is, you can continue to work on these different areas and higher levels of your fitness. You just haven't received this band yet. We don't want to start you off in one particular area. We want to show progression through the system, and that's just something that's important to us. We hope that you guys can understand, but everyone's going to have to start from, if you're getting brand new into the program, you have to start at a lower level in order to work your way up to the higher levels. So, 2 months goes by, you have all your orange band standards, boom, you're going to get an orange band, right? And then the next 2 months, you can start working towards your black band, or working towards different stripes. So you can receive a new stripe every 2 months, or you can receive a new band every 2 months, depending upon how much you've gotten done within that time period. And again, we test and look at these metrics over the course of an entire year, all the time. These are movements and different standards and workouts that you guys should have some familiarity with. And the reality is we have been measuring and looking at these different components through our workouts that are stored and saved in Wodify. So you have the majority of this information. There might be some things you have to backtrack and look at to track, but at the end of the day, you have a lot of these things because we've been measuring it, we've been testing it, we've been tracking it through our different system. Now, with that said, we're looking at, your fitness, and we're looking at all these different components of your fitness. And, the best way to do this is to obviously track it. We've been tracking it through Wodify, like I just mentioned, but we are now working on creating a system that we can automate this. So before, we've just used basic Google documents like this, right? So I'll pull up a sheet. This is like a thick green sheet. I type in my weight, like say 200 pounds or whatever, and it would pull up, of course, oh yeah, it does work. Pulls up, all these different measurements and metrics for my body weight, as a male or whatever, for this. And we've just been continually tracking and looking through it. So as of right now, that's going to be the same. We're going to be just tracking your stuff through Google Documents, but we are building out an automated system /website for you to be able to input and put all this stuff in and track it and have a username and password and all that other cool stuff. And the great part is that we'll be able to pull and scrape all the information from Wodify directly in it, so it would automatically update as well. And the cool thing about that system into our site, which our good friend Bill Arnett that's helping me work on and build, is that it's going to be able to tell you what level you're at, what level you're at for all the particular movements, tell you your compliance, in addition, tell you what are the areas that you have to really work on. So, what we found as you progress through your fitness, and people that come in through the door, all different walks of life, they might be biased in some particular area, right? You might come in and you are a bodybuilder or have an awesome background in just lifting weights, and you're super strong. So you can hit all these different areas, but your biggest area of opportunity, especially when we're looking at Virtuosity, doing the common uncommonly well, looking at overall fitness, right? Constantly varied high-intensity functional movements, CrossFit, high-intensity functional movements, and looking at fitness, increase in work capacity through broad time and mobile domains, we are looking at all these things. So, you might be heavily biased in strength training. Biggest area of opportunity is monostructural work. Those are the areas that we really want to focus on. That's how we're going to progress and get to that 85% compliance towards your black band to be able to progress up to the next level. So it's going to be great. It's going to be an automated system, allow you to track all your stuff. It's going to be, a lot of it's going to be done for you. There might be some manual entry. And then, when you get to that level, when you hit your, get to your new band, it's going to automatically let me know that. I'll be able to check through that through our software program on the back end, and we'll be able to graduate you and get you off, to your next band. So at the end of the day, the Virtuosity system is set up to help you guys track your progress, more specifically set goals. So, you come in day one, CrossFit, and you have some specific metrics and all that sort of stuff, and that might not be super important to you. Again, the majority of this beginning stage is really learning and getting fundamental movement patterns down. As we progress through and we start to set some more specific goals, say 100% body weight on our deadlift, or 150% body weight, or having a being able to complete Fran RX, whatever those different things are, this system allows you to kind of track those things and where you're particularly at. And again, this whole thing is meant to help you set goals, but also to create and retain working out and exercising for your lifetime and create a lifelong habit. So that's our goal with the system, and we want to get as many of you involved in it as possible. This is something that's totally free. It's not something that you have to pay for. It's something that we want you to use to help you, allow us to help you reach those specific goals. And as we go through this Virtuosity program, we've found, and what I know, are the people that are most well balanced through these different areas are the most fit people that have have leaned out, have less body fat, that have good muscle tone, that are strong, that have great endurance, that sleep better, have less stress, that have a decrease in their resting heart rate. All these different biomarkers of increases in fitness, and being well-rounded in these different areas is going to help you with your overall fitness levels and specific fitness goals, which are areas that we want to continue to help you with as well. So I really hope that this gave a good understanding for what this system is. If you're interested in getting started, just let one of our coaches know, and we'll set you up. We'll get you going right away, give you your bands. Everyone that gets a band, we got to get your picture. We got to put you on the wall and track you as we go through this process. But again, I really, really, really hope that you guys can take a look at this system and get involved with it, as we really believe it's going to be something great for everyone. So, I appreciate you taking the time and watching this long, drawn-out video. If you didn't watch the video, have any specific questions, feel free to let me or any of the coaches know. We're here to help. Thank you, guys.